Well, good afternoon, everybody. Tuesday, the 2nd of April, and here I am with one of our original members, Bob Head. So I've asked if I could come and intrude on his privacy here at his home in Caringbah to ask him a few questions about his life and his involvement with the New Horizons band. So thank you, Bob. Thank you for letting me come in this afternoon.
No problem.
So how long have you been playing with the New Horizons band?
Well, as you referred to, since its inception, when it was first talked about at the band that meets at North Caringbah Hall, the concert band
Right.
there, which I was in at the time. So it sounded like the better thing for me to join, or at least I joined both for a time. But of course, you have too much music then, so I switched just to the New Horizons band, and of course, it's been a good match.
You've been more comfortable there.
Yes, well, the other one was good, very good, but it's more appropriate in the NH band, I think.
Right.
Mm.
And you play clarinet?
Yes, that's right.
Have
Yes,
you been playing for many years?
well, as Adam Robinson told me when I said I've been playing for 40 years, he said, "No, Bob, you've owned a clarinet for 40 years. You've been playing for about 5."
That's a bit of a put down,
Which
Adam.
was true. Well, he was quite right. I graduated from a recorder which I played with the children when they were young to help encourage them at school, and the neighbours said, "Oh, you should get a clarinet." And then we came to Australia, and there was a Salvation Army shop in Caringbah where they had one on sale, so I bought that, and then started to have lessons, and it acted as a sort of a distraction and recreation for me from other things. So that's how
Were
it
you
all
working
started.
at the time then?
Yes, oh yes. I mean,
Yes.
I came here with a job to start a factory at Mascot, and it was very intense, and we were having more children at the time. It was everything happening, so something that I could just do and take my mind off things for an hour at night. The children grew up all recalling the squeaking sound at night as they went to sleep. They don't seem to be very grateful for it, but
Any of them play an instrument?
no.
Oh, right. Oh, and unfortunate results then.
No, it was a bit of a solo experience. In fact, Mary is in the Southern Shire Choral Society, so she's rehearsing her alto part, and I'm playing second or first clarinet parts, which aren't always musical either. So we try to do it when each other's out.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's a good way to be. So you play the clarinet, and you've played for some time, and you didn't play you played as a child by the recorder by the sound
Well, not
of it.
only as an adult. No, I didn't play as a child.
Right.
In my early life, I was born just post-war, and there was no money. I mean, London was a pretty destitute place, pretty grey place, not much colour, and all we had at school was, in a class of I think 43 children, was a triangle.
Oh, okay,
The
right.
two Scottish teachers we had were very determined to fulfil their obligations in the infant and primary school, and so the triangle was used. We were listening to records, and we were made to sing, and we had to clap beats, and we
Fabulous.
were helped to dance. They really tried hard. I mean, they did the best. I was with a small group of boys who couldn't quite clap at the right time. Jenny might not be surprised to hear that. The girls all seemed to pick beats up really well,
Right.
but it was pretty grim, and there was nothing around much other than what was on the radio. We didn't know concerts or maybe gang shows. I loved the gang shows with the Scouts. That was just so exciting to be on a stage. And later on at school, I was in HMS Pinafore, which I thoroughly enjoyed. As chorus, as a sailor in the chorus, but it just thrilled me. And later on, went with a friend and his family to Gilbert and Sullivan operas, which I just loved. That was just so colourful and bright, and made me very enthusiastic
Yes.
about music to
Yes.
start with.
Yes, it's a good way to start in because they're so clever. The dialogue is so clever.
Oh,
the lyrics
yes,
are
and
clever.
so
wonderful
timeless
music.
too.
Yes.
Can so easily be adapted. It's a bit like the series Yes Minister, because it was always taking fun out of politicians or people in big wigs and
Authority,
things
yes.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, they're always very entertaining. So, what does music mean to you then, Bob?
Well, as a child, it didn't mean a lot. I do remember we had a football field at the bottom of the first garden of the first house or flat we lived in Harrow in London, and they played, all football fields played classical music before the start of a match. And every Saturday we get this operatic stuff very often, or symphonies played over a football field. It's unbelievable to think of it now, but it gradually grew on me a bit, little catches of it. And we used to listen to music on a Sunday afternoon after the Sunday lunch. I was an only child, but I had a cousin living upstairs, so I had someone to play with. But we'd sit listening to this music, which I thought was dreadful, and I'd play with a train set. Then one Sunday, I was about 10, and sitting there, and all of a sudden something got through to me. It was they're playing a Beethoven symphony, and something struck me, and I couldn't wait for the next week, and it was different. But I began to understand the rhythms and the feel of the music and the sensation of it, and I really became very engaged in that. I really loved it.
Wonderful.
I even was given some classical records later on. And I had pop music, of course, on the radio. There was Housewife's Choice. I've got a CD of that. It's very funny to listen to now. And so much fun has been made of the expression housewife's choice.
I don't know that at all. Elvis, no.
It was a radio program for women who were, of course, were at home in those days while the men worked, and they would play requests from women who were doing the housework.
Oh, right. Oh,
to play for something while I'm
it's a bit
doing the
sexist.
washing. Yeah, incredibly.
Yes.
But that was the sort of music we had post-war. Vera Lynn. Petula Clark became a favourite of mine as a singer. Even had her picture up on my bedroom wall when I entered my adolescence. I couldn't quite understand why I put it up there, but I did begin to understand things were changing for me. And then, of course, along came the Beatles, ABBA, the Beach Boys, and they were just fantastic.
And you're right in the middle of all of that.
Yes,
yeah.
It was just incredible.
So it's a whole range of genre there, from the classics right through to the modern pop music.
Not a lot of jazz, but that came a bit later. But I was never quite in tune with jazz as much as I was with pop music or classical music.
Oh, wonderful. I wonder if they played the music before the game just to keep the players calm. They need to do that now, I think, to unrev them.
I can't imagine what they were thinking, but it was just, it seemed to be, to me, later on when I appreciated it, it seemed to be a good way to sort of lift the genre of music for the public to hear.
Yes.
It seemed to be a good idea, but you'd never get away with it now. In fact, I gather that if you want to keep pesky teenagers out of a place like Westfield, you start playing Mozart, and they just run away.
Maybe you should write a letter.
They don't need security guards. You just play Mozart.
Just play Mozart.
Or Chopin, and they'll run.
I think a lot of the people, the shoppers, would really appreciate that, especially during the day. It'd be wonderful. So, what's your favourite musical experience with the band?
Well, it's pieces become favourites, don't they? You enjoy some pieces more than others, and some of the musicals I've enjoyed. The songs. I mean, there's nothing I've really disliked. Some of it's difficult to play, but there's nothing I've disliked about any of the music. Some of the bits of classical we played have been nice too. Some of it's been quite moving. There's songs or melodies to do with soldiers returning or not returning.
All right.
Have been very moving, and some of the happier ones have been quite exhilarating, and I find myself repeating the tunes in my head during the week.
Yes, that's a danger.
Some of them just won't go away.
I know what you mean.
An earworm.
Yes. And I suppose going on the camps are always a fun experience too. Yes,
that's right. So it's most of it has been enjoyable.
Yes.
The music with the band.
Yes, and I think Jenny and the team try very hard to keep us all motivated.
Oh, they do.
Us all,
yes,
all enjoying the
amazing.
experience.
I mean, I've been in other bands, and there's nobody has kept the atmosphere and the motivation so high
So
as
strong,
Jenny and
yes,
Joe.
yes,
It really does work. It makes you feel you want to do your best
yes, absolutely.
because you're happy there, and it's not because they've told you to get better. You want to be better.
Yes, you want to please them and by
Yes.
doing the right thing. No, I
Mm.
agree with that. And favourite musical experiences outside the band?
Well, early on, of course, it was Gilbert and Sullivan, which I now realise is a bit lowbrow, really. I've, I've never really taken to major opera, um, but I have always enjoyed most classical concerts, and even up to the level of Mahler and
Oh,
people
wow,
like that.
heavy, yes.
I've really do enjoy that sort of music, and certainly with the wind instruments, the clarinet's my favourite wind instrument. And when I started playing it, it just and clarinet music just seemed enchanting.
Yes.
And some of the clarinet quintets or the writers of classical clarinet music, which go back many hundreds of years, Telemann, and so on. It's just mesmerising.
Yeah, you could lose
really.
yourself in it.
It has been a bit difficult lately because I lost some levels of hearing, and it destroyed the quality of the music, which is really sad. So that's been a major disappointment. But I've managed to adjust, and the brain does adapt. But yes, that sort of music I found really touched me a lot. It was just exciting. I mean, Mozart's Clarinet Concerto and other concertos, just so exciting.
Lovely.
To me.
And do you play those for relaxation here at
Well,
home?
yes, I did. With each time I played, I sort of murmured an apology to the writers. I'm sorry, I'm going to murder your piece, but I would like to try it, and I have managed a reasonable fist of one or two of them in just certain parts, tempos that I can manage and ranges I can manage. But it is nice to do it. It's nice to feel you can do
Yes.
something like that.
I think we all need a challenge like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yes.
there are too many challenges in life. But
It's
at
all
least you haven't
about-
lost your breath yet. That's the most
Breath.
critical thing, yes, for
Oh, no, no.
clarinet playing.
Well, I
Wings.
think being a swimmer for some time and playing the clarinet and always doing a lot of running and bushwalking, I
Right.
was told I've got 15% lung capacity
Oh.
above the average for
Oh,
my
above.
age.
Fantastic.
So I don't have a problem with lung capacity,
Right.
but I do have a problem with the reed
Oh, yes, the tricky
and,
little
and the
devils.
fingers. Yeah.
Yes, getting it right can then be a millimetre, just a whisker out, and you're in trouble.
Yes, that's right.
So, favourite music and performer? Well, we've covered that pretty much.
Well, yes, I haven't got a particular favourite. It's changed over the years. But I don't take particular note really of particular singers except when something exceptional happens. But I just have a general enjoyment, all-round enjoyment.
Fantastic.
Mm.
We're so lucky in Australia with so many facilities where we can hear live music too. I mean, between the Opera House and now the new venue up at Sutherland there. I haven't been in that, but apparently
Yes,
that's
well, I
really
was
quite
there
lovely.
last week with my wife did the Messiah there,
Ah, right.
which attracted a very big audience, and it was very much appreciated. I mean, and it was well done. I mean, there's no doubt they did have solo professionals,
Right.
but it is a very good choir, in spite of all the facetious comments I make about it at home.
Oh, right.
It's an experience being there and hearing it. It's a very good concert hall.
Yes. Well, I think being so far out of Sydney, and for our generation, having something local like that is really a bonus. You don't have
yes.
to, the drama of getting into the Opera House and parking or catching public transport, then getting home again after a performance. Having something of that quality is really
Well,
just...
it's necessary. I
Oh,
think.
yes. Culture, oh my God. We all know about the Sharkies, but a bit of culture thrown in is always... And here we've got our wonderful musical societies too. I've been to a couple of their productions.
The Miranda
and
Musical
they're excellent.
Society. Yes.
Very, very good. What's your greatest challenge in music or in life in general?
I'd have to say, how long have you got? Well, the greatest challenge is for me the beat. I find that very difficult, as Jenny and Joe well know. I'm always trying to improve that, but that's probably the biggest challenge. I can cover the range of the instrument
Right.
quite
Good.
well, but timing and some dynamics are sometimes a bit off, although the dynamics are getting better for me. So that's really the challenge for
Yes.
me.
Yes, I like those gentle little nudges that Jenny gives you occasionally. On to, Bob. or whatever the particular
Yes,
correction
we're actually in
is.
bar 3 now, Bob. Yeah.
I say, go, Bob, you do it. And the benefits of music.
Oh, well, I mean, life without music would be very plain to me. It's an essential. I'm quite convinced that music came well before speech in the evolution of humankind. Probably dance came first, and then music, and then finally
Right.
speech. And I think it's so innate in people that if you don't appreciate it, there's some sort of gene gone missing
There's
somewhere.
something missing in your
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. And the variety of music. Oh, well, it's an interesting concept about dance and then music. I suppose they're all forms of communication, aren't they?
Yes,
No,
all they are.
non-verbal
I mean, they must have
communication.
been the earliest form of communication when people had no language and body language.
Yes,
In fact,
yes.
children have body language up until 5. They can different races and languages will mix with children. They know what they're doing, but
Yeah.
they do by the body language.
Yes, it's
After
universal.
5, you lose it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's adult interference then sometimes, isn't it? or school's interference. So, do you have other interests apart from music?
Yes, well, when I first retired, Mary and I decided we'd go to a seniors expo. And they had a special talk on aging and staying fit and mentally healthy, and they said you should really play a musical instrument and learn a language. So we were already doing something with music, but I decided that was important to continue with it for another reason. And we decided, because we'd done it at school, we decided we'd just learn French. So we, by sheer coincidence, we came across 3 French mothers who were part of a playgroup. I'd rented out a scout hall to Playgroups Australia, and 3 French mothers who asked me if I could find a hall for them just to have a French playgroup.
Oh,
And just at the time we decided we'd learn it. So we stuck with this group, and this has developed into a major organisation in the Shire called the Francophone Association. We've been to France several times. We've got lots of French friends. We speak French with them, and it's really enriched our lives.
fantastic.
So it's been really quite and we've had French people living with us. We've lived with them in France. It's really been
Oh, how
a
beautiful.
wonderful experience, and we can watch French films and the French news and have a view on Europe. We also read a lot, quite widely. I'm still involved for my sins as a sort of grey ghost group leader with the Scouts. They just don't seem to want me to disappear. I think I'm just good at sorting out difficult problems. I certainly don't have any pretensions to be doing all the activities. And gardening too. We do love flowers and gardening. It's a fairly full-on exercise in this climate, but
Well,
unless you're just growing natives.
well, no, yes, no. I think it's the climate is the killer. Although today is just lovely with this very fine drizzle, just
Yes.
dumping it down, which is wonderful. And
Yes.
we tried to make an arrangement earlier this month, and you were with the historical buildings group that you went.
Oh
out
yes,
with,
we're in the National Trust.
National Trust.
I do recommend the National Trust to everybody if you really, really do want to help preserve what we've got. It's really important, and we had a day out with Harper Mansion at Berrima and John Fairfax's old house at Retford Park,
Okay.
which was run by the National Trust for those who had made an extra donation above and
Right.
beyond their membership. But it was really good, and it worries me that developers are so aggressive that they'll overrun any community campaign. So I really recommend it.
Yes, it's a worry, isn't it, when you watch some of those lovely old buildings being demolished and then
Oh, it's tragic.
those
Yes.
plastic buildings going up. All right. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, as I say, how long have you got? But I think we've probably bored people enough.
No, not at all. It's been charming listening to you. So thank you very much, Bob.
Oh,
It's
thank
been
you, Sue.
wonderful letting me come to your home, and so thank you very
Yes,
much.
right. So thank you. It's a good experience for all of us to see
Yes.
a bit more of each other.
Share
I'm sitting
our
in the
own
front
lives.
row. I never see anybody's face. I don't even know who plays what instrument.
No. Well,
But,
you've got a solid group there with Sandra and with John beside you. So
yes.
you've got a solid
Well, there's
little
enough
group.
of us.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well,
Okay.
thanks again, Bob, and
Okay.
see you on Thursday, or see you the following Thursday at the concert at
Yes, that's right.
at Illawong.
And we've got to be all dressed up.
Yes. All right. Over and
Okay.
out. So see you later. Thanks, guys.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Downtown. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go down.